momentum going into game one?
The Raptors. I mean, the Warriors seem to have had, listen, for all of you out there who are like momentum, I know. But if we're asking the question, the answer is the Raptors. The Warriors have been sitting around, maybe getting cold. They had their way with Portland, but recall 3 of those games, it seemed, could have gone either way. And the Warriors were dominating on the offensive glass. I don't think that's going to be the case against the Raptors. In the meantime, the Raptors have come on like gangbusters. Talk about momentum. They just won 4 straight against the team with the best record in the NBA, who had just knocked out the Celtics. They just won 4 straight against that team. And by the way, it was behind the play of the man I believe has already proved himself the best player in the world, Kawhi Leonard. Stephen A., that third quarter, they're down 15. They don't want to face a Game 7 in Milwaukee. You could almost see it on Kawhi Leonard's face. This ain't going to happen. 2 minutes left in the third quarter. They go on a 10-0 run. Kawhi was involved in every single play on the offensive and defensive end, including grabbing his missed free throw. I think it was over Antetokounmpo and Siakam, the claw snatching it out of the air. I mean, that is, insofar as momentum exists, the Raptors have it.
I disagree. But I'm not sleeping on what you're saying because we'll talk about our predictions Thursday, but I will concede to you, Max Kellerman. The Raptors, going back, watching some tape, thinking about the game, they're making me very nervous about this in terms of the Golden State Warriors. This is not going to be a cakewalk. That much I will say. But we'll talk more about this on Thursday. Let me say this. Here's why I believe the Warriors have the momentum. Even though you've played and you're in rhythm if you are the Raptors because you don't have that much of a lengthy layoff. If you are the Golden State Warriors, due to the absence of depth you were perceived to have had, even though I don't think that is as legitimate after seeing Looney and Bell and Cook and McKinney and those boys contribute, I do think that there's something to be said. Andre Iguodala wasn't 100%. Didn't play in Game 4. Really couldn't do but so much. He was not healthy. All right, he'll be back. He's scheduled to be back. Boogie Cousins, by sweeping Portland, you buy yourself some more time. Not to say that there was going to be a changing of the date for the NBA Finals, but what I'm saying is they get an opportunity to really lock in and zero in on sort of rehabbing him to get him ready. I think that he'll be seen in this series. Probably Game 1, likely by Game 2 at the latest. I view it that way. And I'm saying, yes, without Kevin Durant, you're still going to get a healthier Andre Iguodala and a healthier Boogie Cousins. And so when you combine that with the rest of the squad that you had, led by Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, who are rested, and Draymond Green as well, I do think that helps Golden State. If Golden State wasn't experienced, then I would be worried about rhythm being affected because they hadn't been playing it so long. But because they've been to 4 straight NBA Finals and it is now their 5th, they're veterans at this. They know what's required. They know what it takes, and they'll know how to utilize their rest better than most teams would. And that's why I like the momentum.
I think that's a really good point. I'll just say this. It must be nice for the Warriors. You lose a guy that many, including you, have called the best player in the game in LeBron's absence from these playoffs, Kevin Durant, MVP caliber player. And yet, Boogie Cousins could be available to you, and the coach is sitting there going, well, normally, if it was the regular season, we'd work him in, but this is Game 1 of the finals, so we can't disrupt things. I mean, it must be nice because any other team ever would be like, oh, we got Boogie Cousins available? Here we go. I mean, they have high-end talent on the Warriors.
Depends on how you look at it. If the Toronto Raptors, because you got to remember, Valanciunas isn't there any longer, and Gasol is basically a poorer version of Boogie Cousins, who has the ability to step away from the basket. He went through a 2-game stretch where he hit like 7 3-pointers over a 2-game stretch and what have you. And I think the last game, Game 6, he hit like 2 pivotal 3-pointers. But what I'm saying to you is that he's a poorer version of Boogie Cousins. That much I get. The flip side is that if you are the Toronto Raptors, you might want to push the ball up the floor a little bit more just to neutralize Boogie Cousins to some degree if he becomes some kind of a threat in that regard. So I do wonder about that, but there's no question that the extra body, along with his offensive potency, can't hurt the Golden State Warriors. They need him now more than ever with KD being out.
Yeah, look, we can get into the actual matchups later on, but the upside for less Boogie, especially without KD, is more Iguodala, and they become a significantly better team with more Iguodala, who is still, in high-leverage moments, a legitimately great defender.
No
Great
question.
defender and a great spot-up shooter.
No doubt.
Because you got to leave somebody open, and it's usually him, particularly from the corners. He can hit those shots. That's
Stephen
a
A,
big deal.
I've said this before, and we can debate this later in the week. Fate of the universe on the line. For an open shot, just an open look, anyone on that team, everyone will take Steph or Clay. I'm taking Iguodala with the fate of the universe on the line. Ice
All right.
water.
How about it?